everyone, and welcome back to Liz Sews. Today is of course my favorite time of the month, and that's sharing everything that I have sewn in the month of April. So April was a little hit or miss for me. I did have some successes and I had a lot of sort of failures that were sort of knocking on my confidence level, but I'm still excited to share with you everything that I've done. And I actually got quite a lot done considering I also was working during this time. So let's start first with what I'm wearing here, and this is the L'Amour dress by Charm Patterns, patterns by Gertie. So I've done just the bodice with the three-way halter straps on it, and then this comes with a 3/4 circle skirt, but I feel like if I'm cutting out a 3/4 circle skirt, I might as well cut out a full circle because it takes about the same amount of fabric, and we love big skirts around here. So I have done a full circle skirt. Now originally when I had picked this fabric out, and this is the cotton and steel, I think it's bandana print, I had thought it had like these squares all over it, but unfortunately they were running in like lines that ran from salvage to salvage on the fabric, which isn't ideal for doing a circle skirt. So I tried to like center one right under my stomach, and then you can see as the skirt flares out that you can see those lines in there, but I hope it's not too distracting. I was really excited about trying just the halter neck version because I do have some of that, you know, underarm fat, and I thought this might hide it a little bit better while still giving me that same neckline. And I do think that halter necks tend to work better with me just because I have fairly broad shoulders, and it sort of accentuates that and makes it look more hourglassy. So really happy how this turned out. Let's see, the next garment that I sewed was a failure and I tried to do another pair of ginger jeans from Closet Case Patterns, and I've done this one quite frequently before, and I thought I had the pattern fitted to me perfectly, but once I started doing all of my panty block and manipulations and stuff like that, I realized that I have a really long waist from like my waist to my crotch. Like that depth is really long. And I had actually fitted these to be a mid-rise pant, and they're not supposed to be a mid-rise pant. They're supposed to be high-waisted. So I wanted to go back into this pattern and sort of figure that out and see if I can't make the high-waisted dreams that they are, high-waisted jeans that they had intended. So I used all of my measurements. So the 9 inches from waist to hip, and then 12 inches from waist to crotch. And I tried to redraft this, and I made a muslin and it worked fine, and I thought, yep, this is good to go. And so I went ahead and cut it out in my jeans, and for some reason when I went to go put my jeans together, my back was 2 inches longer than my front. So I did some surgery and I ended up cutting out the back yoke and recutting a new yoke that was 2 inches shorter so that we could go in, or cutting 2 inches out of the pants so that it would fit in and match the front of the pant. But when I tried them on, I didn't finish them. Obviously there's no waistband on here, because when I tried them on, the back was not long enough. I needed that 2 inches. So I have no idea what happened. I've gone back and looked at the pattern again and again and again, and I lengthened the same amount in the front and the back. It just doesn't make any sense to me. I cannot figure out why that happened. So that was really disappointing. So I made these pants, and I got them to the point of just needing the waistband on them, and I gave up. And I said, this isn't worth doing. So because I tried them on, they're not long enough in the back. It's too short of a rise in the back. And I just thought that the crotch region wasn't fitting as well as it should. When I go back and try on my mid-rise versions, I think the crotch fits a lot better. So I'm really disappointed in that. So I don't know. I don't know if I'm ever going to have true high-waisted jeans, because this was such a failure and really disheartened me. So after that, I decided to make something for Tony, and that is this Mimi G style 8-4-2-7 pattern. I really liked, he likes this like fitted shirt, and my go-to pattern form that I've had in the past for making shirts or collared shirts was really a lot more voluminous. And so I had sort of like altered it to take in the arms and take in the sides a bit, but it really was quite boxy. So I was hoping that this one would have a lot more fitted silhouette. And spoiler alert, it does, and I'm really happy how it turned out. Now, unfortunately, when I took his measurements, he is a 44 chest, and I don't have the right size packet. So I have a I have a size pack, it goes 34 to 42. So it was only one size off. So I graded it out an extra size for him, and it actually worked really, really well. This is the first time that I've ever graded a pattern. So I'm surprised at how well it turned out, but I'm really happy that it worked well and it fits him perfectly. I think I did lengthen the sleeves by an inch, and they're a little bit long on him, but I kind of like the long sleeves. I think that it could stand to not need the sleeves lengthened at all, which means he would just need a straight size 44. And I don't think I had any issues with it. It went together really easily. The only thing I thought was a little bit weird is that they don't interface the button placket. Like whenever I'm putting buttons or something in a garment, I definitely want to have some interfacing there. Now it does have 3 layers of fabric, and I think they're just trying to use that as the strengthening bit for the buttons, is having 3 layers of fabric. But especially with like buttonholes, I just prefer that I put a strip of interfacing. So I do need to, you know, make that note in this pattern that I need to cut out some interfacing for the button placket. But other than that, it went together really, really well. The chimney placket went really well, which is exciting. This is the first chimney placket I've done on a shirt for Tony that looks perfect. And yeah, so great. I thought this was a great pattern. And we're definitely gonna make some more of these for him. He was really happy and excited with it, and immediately he was like, okay, so can I go pick, you know, some flannels and stuff? You can make more shirts than me. So yeah, definitely a win. So that was nice to have one win. The next thing that I made was the Simplicity 8513, and I chose to do view C. That's really just my favorite view of this pattern, is this crossover neckline. The other views are a little too modest and too revealing. So I feel like that one's nice in the center or in the middle. And I've chosen this crushed velvet that I purchased from Emerald Erin, and I had 1 yard of this crushed velvet. Of course, this isn't going to show up very well on screen, but I had 1 yard of this crushed velvet, and I was able to cut this out with the long sleeves. Unfortunately, the stretch on this velvet isn't a ton, and I think I needed just a little bit more for this pattern. So it does kind of ride up there in the bottom. It ends up being a little more thong-like than I would have preferred, but I think I'll still wear it a little bit. I don't know, I might chop off the bottom of this so that it's not a full bodysuit, and I'll just have it as a long sleeve shirt that I would tuck in, because it's a little uncomfortable, especially sitting down. But I do quite like how this turned out. I have another length of this crushed velvet, but I don't think I'm going to make another bodysuit with it. I think it's probably just going to be a lingerie set instead. So this was a semi-win. Let's give it a semi-win, because I think I'll wear it. It's a little bit tight down in the bottom. So the next thing that I had made is I was asked to be a tester for Studio Costura shop Eva panties, and I believe that these are out now. The pattern is out now, and so I chose to make mine in this like cactus print scuba with this really bright in-your-face pink lace. I really like the style lines of these panties, with the lace that's around the front and the back, and then no elastic around the legs, because it's just using that lace instead, which I always prefer to have lace around the leg holes, because I think it leaves a lot smoother line under clothing. Unfortunately, these were not a win for me. Not long enough in the torso. So these were supposed to be high-waisted, so come up to your natural waist, and they came about 5 inches below my natural waist. But I have seen a lot of other people make these, and they fit them really well, so I think it's my body that's the problem and not the pattern. I might go back in and sort of like alter this so that it will fit me eventually. I think I need to add some length in the gusset and then some length up here as well in the tummy section so that it would reach my natural waist. But I mean, it might be worth going back into and altering just because I really like the style lines and I think it looks really cute. And I believe there's 4 views available with this. So you can make it like this with lace. I think there's a version where it doesn't use any elastic at all and the leg holes and the waist are using like a self fabric, so very similar to the Bunsies panties. And then there's one that's just like a straight high-waisted panty with no frills, and I think the other one might just have a little lace panel in it. I'm not sure, but so So I do think it's a really worthwhile pattern, and if you have more standard lengths, I would definitely try it out. So that's the Eva panty from Studio Costura shop. The next going I have is a bra, and this is using the Fern kit from Bra Builders. And if you'll remember last month, or I think it's March, I made a lace Fern bra, but I had leftover sheer cup lining, and I really wanted to try it with the Caribbean blue findings, and I just love these colorways together. Unfortunately, I really love the look of this from the inside the most. I think the combination of the blue and the green on the inside is just perfect. I love it so much. So I think that I wish I could see more blue from the outside of the bra. So if I was ever to recreate this design, I would sew it together with the cups and the frame with the seam allowance going outwards instead of inwards, and then I would apply the underwire channeling on the outside of the bra. So that's what I would do if I had it to do over again. But I do quite like how this turned out. It's very sporty, very sheer, and this is using the Black Beauty pattern from Emerald Erin, of course. So the next thing that I made was a swimming suit, and I used I'm calling it a bikini. I don't know if technically it is a bikini because it has a little bit more coverage, but for the top I used the Axis tank from Sophie Hines and this lovely digital print, Raindrop print that my mom gave to me. It's just leftover scraps after she finished her swimming suit. So here is the top. I just did, can't remember what view this is, but it's the one where it's all one solid piece of fabric and then sort of like a racer back in the back. And then I've lined mine in swimsuit lining. Of course, the pattern doesn't come with lining instructions, so I kind of just had to make it up as I went along, but I think it worked out really well. And then for the bottoms, I have a self-drafted pair, and these are mid-rise, so these do not come up to my natural waist, but mid-rise, I think I want to go back, if I have enough of this fabric left over, I think I'm going to go back and make another pair of high-waisted bottoms, because I think that the high-waisted ones are a little bit more flattering on me just because it's coming up to that smallest portion of my waist instead of this, which is sort of sitting on my high hip, which tends to be a little wide. I had a lot of fun making swimsuits, so I think next month is going to be a lot of swimsuits. That's just what I'm excited about making right now. So the next thing that I made was some more underwear. As I had mentioned, you know, I have a couple video series out of how to draft your own underwear to your measurements, and I will try to link that up in the description box if you guys are interested in seeing that. So I made a lot of underwear this month, and so another one that I made is this lace pair, and I'm using my forward seam pattern alteration. So I have this lace panel in the very front, and the lace is made out of embroidery tulle, so it really does not have much stretch, but the rest of the back of the panty is made out of micro mesh, so it has a lot of stretch to sort of compensate for that. I really like how this turned out, and of course this is to go along with a bra that I made. I think I made this in March, just this lilac lace that I got from the tailor-made shop as part of the TM Collaboratory. So really happy to have a matching pair of underwear to go with it because I had a lot of that lace left over. And this pair I really like wearing together. So this was another win. Very easy, simple make, but definitely a win for me because it makes this set more usable. And going along that same theme, I made a all lace pair of underwear. So I made this pair, which is all lace, and this is using this really beautiful lace that I purchased from Beware. I think they also have it at Live Bell Sewing, if I'm not mistaken. But I love this lace, and I made a bra last year, and this is a Black Beauty bra out of this lace, and I love that bra so much that I went back and bought more lace so that I could make a pair of matching underwear. And once I had drafted my own underwear, this was perfect opportunity for it. So I did a straight panel in the front, so the top of the front has just the lace edge, which is really smoothing. It doesn't really cut into that tummy area. And then on the back of the panty, I did two bias cut sections of the lace with a center back seam. And again, the leg holes on this are unbound, so it's just the scalloped edge of the lace, which makes it a really smooth appearance on the bum. So these are great and really, really comfortable, and I think they look really sexy and pretty, and it makes you feel like you have a little secret on underneath your clothing, but still is super, super comfortable. So again, really glad I could complete that set. Then we have another bra, and this is a Black Beauty bra from Emerald Erin, and I'm using a rose bra tulle kit that she sells in her shop. So Emerald Erin showed a little hack a couple weeks ago, it might even been a couple months ago, on how to do this like ruched upper cup. So it's 2 layers of tulle in opposing directions of stretch, and the outer layer of tulle is cut double the length of the inner, and I just gathered it on the top and the bottom, so it gives this really cool effect on there. It does show a little bit more underneath clothing, but it doesn't really seem to bother me very much. I don't like, if you're wearing a more structured like cotton dress or something like that, it doesn't really show. It's only an issue if you're wearing like a really thin like viscose jersey or something like that. But really happy how that turned out, and I think that this is a hack that I definitely want to try again. I did order a ton of, maybe not a ton, like 4 or 5 other bra tulle colors from Beware. They just haven't come in yet, because I think this is something that I want to do again in the future. And I think one of you, I can't remember if it was on Instagram or YouTube, but asked if I could do a video tutorial for this, and I certainly can help out with that. But of course, I would also recommend just checking out Emerald Erin's Instagram feed, because I think she has it saved in her highlights section, all of her bra week makes, because she does talk a little bit about how she goes about doing this pattern manipulation. So really happy with that bra. And then another fail. So after the success of my Raindrop swimsuit, I wanted to do another swimsuit. So I used this pattern Bravo Swim #1. Let's see. There you go, Bravo Swim #1. And this is put out by Bravo Bellows, but of course I ordered it from Bra Builders is where I purchased it. And I tried View A, which is the crossback version. This is another like unfinished object because it just didn't fit quite right. I did a lot of pattern work ahead of time before making it so that it would be a good fit for me. They do have a lot of information on sizing on here. Let's see, they give bust, waist, hip, and then they tell you what the crotch depth, the back waist length, and the girth is. So girth is over your shoulders and then through your crotch and back around over your shoulders. So they give you all of that information on the pattern. So I knew that I needed to add, let's see, for instance, my girth is 63, and for my size, the girth was 57. So I needed to add 6 inches in total length around that direction, and then I needed to add 2 inches to the crotch depth. So we did a lot of work on this, and I got it to mostly made. I haven't put any of the elastic into it yet, and I tried it on and I'm like, yeah, it's not worth finishing. I needed to take some of the length out above the waist and then add it below the waist. I think my waist was sitting just a little bit too low in the pattern, and I don't really like, they have like a bandeau that's on the inside of the bra where it has foam cups attached to it. And because the back of the bra is so, or back of the swimsuit was so open, that bandeau was pulling, there was nothing to like resist against it. So it was pulling towards the front and then making some really weird seams on the side. So once I cut out the bandeau, all of that tension went away and it was laying much smoother along the side of the body. So I think that what I want to do, so I went back to my pattern and I took out, I moved it an inch from up here and moved it below the waist, and then I think I made the gusset a little bit smaller, just a ½ inch smaller. And I think what I'm going to do is just take out that bandeau completely and attach the foam cups directly to the lining. So this pattern goes through quite in depth on doing like the stitch and flip method for the lining, but because I'm going to put the foam cups to the lining of this, what I'm going to have to, at least for the front of the suit, make the lining separate from the fashion fabric and then attach the cups to there, because the cups do intersect with the princess seam. So there's no way to just get it on a single piece of lining. It's gonna have to intersect with that seam. So I do like the style lines of this bra. Let's see if I can show you guys. So it has princess lines in the front, and I think that the crossed back looks really, really cool. I don't know if you can see that. But I want to go ahead, and I'm still going to make, this one is a lost cause, but I'm definitely next month going to work on this pattern a little bit more. And I'm hoping with those few minor tweaks of like moving inches from here to here and stuff like that, it'll be perfect. So I definitely want to give this another go next month. And I just have to think about the fabrics. I have 2 fabric options. So this is unusable, so that's kind of a loss, but I definitely learned a lot from it, so it's not like the knowledge is still worthwhile to have. And then the last thing that I have is my tailor-made collaboratory project for the month. And for the month of April, I had this really, really pretty sort of like purpley magenta sportswear fabric, and then a lot of black findings. So I made a Jordy bralette, which is really fun and sporty and I love. And then I made some matching period underwear to go with it. I think I made the period underwear first, and then I decided I needed to make a bra to go with it. And because obviously these are going to be worn during a specific time of the month, I wanted a bra that was not going to cause too much pain on top. So that's why I went with the Jordy bralette, because it's a really low support, but also, you know, there's no wire, there's nothing digging in. It's really, really comfortable, especially if your size is fluctuating. So the first pair that I made is this, and it has a little lace insert panel right here, which I really like. And this is using my self-drafted panty and then modified for period underwear. So I will pop up a link up here of how to make the panty and then how to turn any panty pattern into period underwear if you guys are interested in checking that out. So this is the first one, really, really excited. And then I made another one that was just sort of like plain material, so it doesn't have any of that lace panel inserts. So this and this make a really good set. And then I also got some lace from the TaylorMade shop in this black Art Deco lace, so I made a bra with that as well. Let's see. And here we have the bra. It is a Boylston bra. I've been making the Boylston bra a lot lately, and they're really comfortable. I love them. I don't know why I put this pattern, I know why. I put this pattern away because the Black Beauty pattern came in, and I was just obsessed with making all things Black Beauty. But I really, really love this pattern. I think those two are my favorite patterns. And, you know, they're very similar in terms of their cup seaming, so it's not a surprise that they're both so high up on my list because they're very similar to each other. But so did this Boylston bra in the black lace, and I did nude sheer cup lining behind it. That way you could see all the details in the lace, and it just turned out really, really well. I love it. And I like how it can be worn on its own. It's just a little black bra, but it does have that nod to the underwear with having this lace panel here. So very excited with how that turned out. So that's everything that I've sewn in the month of April. And now, of course, we need to find out who the winner is of my 10,000 subscriber giveaway. So I'm going to shoot you over to my computer screen so we can pick that. So all I need to do is load in my video URL here, and then I want to make sure I'm filtering out duplicate users, and then I want to get the YouTube comments. So we have 162 commenters. That's just amazing that I have so many people that entered the giveaway, and let's see who wins. So the winner we have is Christine Colley, and I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name. She says, congratulations, this is such a big milestone. I have been wanting the Black Beauty pattern, so that one is an absolute no-brainer for me. I actually only live about an hour from Emerald Erin's location, so I've been thinking that I needed to place a supply order from her too, to help support local. Keep up the good work, and I love your videos. So Christine, if you just want to contact me at my email, which is lizsews.com@gmail.com. I just need to make sure that I get you the right size set of that pattern, because it does come in 2 different options. So if you just want to email me, and we can figure that out, and I will get the pattern sent over to you. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys next time. Take care. So she showed